Today, we are going to tell you exactly, we hope, how a 401k match works, why you don't need to use it near kerosene, and why you should take advantage of it. All right. If you haven't guessed already, this is Christopher and Katherine from Hunter Benefits Consulting Group, and this is our Compliance on the Couch, where we teach you about all things qualified retirement plans. Katherine, what is a 401k match?
Do you know it's the money your employer matches to your contribution?
Okay, is it always dollar for dollar?
There's a couple of ways to do it.
No, okay, so it's not always dollar for dollar. There's different ways to do it. But an employee has to defer, has to either make a pre-tax 401k contribution or a Roth 401k contribution, and it's true whether they've actively signed up or they're part of an automatic enrollment plan, okay? Do we care about whether or not something's catch-up? No.
Only if you have a Chicago hot dog.
Only if you have a Chicago hot dog, absolutely, okay? Chicago hot dogs aside, when the employer is calculating a match, we don't care whether it's a catch-up. Well, I should say the way we do our plan documents. All right, now then, what types of matching contributions exist? And don't say relish.
Well, there's the percentages, right?
There's a formula. You can do a formula
formulas.
like 50 cents on the first 4% or something like that, or dollar for dollar up to the first 9%. I don't know. So there are two types of matches that an employee is going to see. There's something that's classified as a discretionary match, all right? Or there's something that's classified as a safe harbor match, all right? If your employer is making a discretionary match, it can change from year to year, it can be subject to vesting, and they may not tell you what the formula is. Okay, that's okay, it doesn't make it bad, all right? And it can be deposited every pay period or maybe all at once after the end of the plan year. Again, doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. It's okay for an employer to do that. All right.
The big word is discretionary.
Discretionary. But, well, the same thing is going to be true for a safe harbor match. But a safe harbor match is another type of match where the employer has to tell you about it before the start of the plan year. It's always 100% vested. It doesn't matter if you leave before the end of the year or you don't work 1,000 hours. If you defer and there is a safe harbor match and you're eligible for it, you're going to get it, okay? But again, those things can also be the same. They can either be per pay period or all at once at the end of the plan year. Neither one is good, neither one is bad. They are both allowed under the law and under a plan document, okay? Now then, we've talked about a safe harbor match, but what's different between a safe harbor match and a discretionary match when it comes to vesting?
Safe harbor is 100%, and
Always.
Discretionary can be a variety of things, but never longer than 6 years.
Correct, absolutely. I wonder if I was going to trip you up on that. All right, so when we're talking about a vesting schedule, or when we say something is 100% immediately vested, that means that if you're 100% vested in something, whether it's immediate or after 6 years, that means that when you take your money out of that account, you get all of it. You get whatever's there. All right. If you're not 100% vested, you're only going to get a percentage of that account. All right. Now then.
So give an example of a normal vesting schedule.
There are two very, very common vesting schedules. The first one is called a 6-year graded vesting schedule, and what that means is every calendar year, well, presuming your plan is a calendar year plan, every calendar year that you've worked over 1,000 hours for your employer, you will get 1 year of service for vesting, all right? So 1 year is 0, 2 years is 20% vested, 3 years is 40% vested, 4 years is 60% vested, 5 years is 80% vested, and 6 years is, guess what, 100% vested. Now, that's option one.
And the purpose of that is the employer's trying to have you
hang around a little longer.
You know, I'm going to give you some money and I'm going to make it sweeter.
The employer wants people to hang around longer. Okay. Now, the other one is what we call a 3-year cliff. Still the same thing. We're still looking at plan years in terms of 1,000 hours, but this one is 0% after your first year working 1,000 hours, 0% after working your second year of 1,000 hours, but your third year, as soon as you work 1,000 hours in your third year, you are 100% vested in that account. So that means that if you leave, you're going to get whatever's in there. Now, we're not talking about guaranteed growth or anything like that. We're just talking about a percentage of whatever's in there. That helps that.
But if that part of the account grows, you get
If
that
part,
percentage of it.
grows or sinks, you get all of it. All right, now then, the general consensus on how to best use a match is, well, one,
Contribute
defer.
to the plan.
You have to contribute in order to get a match. You have to give to get. All right.
And it's important to know how much to give to get the maximum amount.
Right. If your employer has stated a maximum, like with a safe harbor match, you usually have to put in 5% or more to get the full 4% safe harbor match. The general consensus then is, well, please defer at least 5% so that you can get the full 4% match. If your employer is doing some other kind of formula, the idea is to always at least defer enough to get the maximum match. Now, your employer doesn't necessarily have to say what the formula is going to be, so you do what you can. Again, an employer just saying there's going to be a match, but not saying exactly how much it is, that is also completely okay.
But I'd say a good percentage of the employers actually announce what their match is going to be.
Usually, a lot of employers...
Because the purpose of it is to get people to defer.
Right.
I mean, that is the purpose.
So you would have an employer would set a budget and not define a formula because they're not sure what the match is going to cost them, and they only have so much money to spend on a match. So that's okay. So they set a budget. So that means you don't know what percentage of that match you're going to get. Again, totally okay. Not very common, but totally okay. Most people do have some kind of formula, 100% of 4%, 50% of the first 6%.
Don't worry, we have the great software that figures that out.
We can take care of all this for the clients, all right? Hopefully this has helped you figure out exactly what a 401k fire start match is, all right? And as always, like, subscribe, comment, upvote, downvote, whatever. Just let us know what your thoughts are. If you have a very specific question, go to sales or email us at sales@hunterbenefits.com. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Thanks for watching.
Take care.